In every single video I've posted so far, I write a script to help me stay on topic. This video is an exception. I didn't want to write anything about this topic because I feel like if I did, it wouldn't be as authentic or genuine. So all of this is just coming from me in the moment. I'm going to try my best not to get distracted from other things, but in this video is probably going to have a lot of ums and likes and, just pauses so I can form a thought. But the topic of this video is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. Suicide. I've not been suicidal my entire life. The first time I was ever suicidal was when my sister passed away from cancer. That was the first time that I kind of wanted to die and not be alive anymore because I didn't know how to live without my best friend. After time, it goes away, but it always seems to come back. Especially when I'm dealing with really difficult things in my life. And I've never gone through with it. I've gotten really close to killing myself once in my entire life, but I didn't do it. I like to think it's because I am stronger than that, and that I, just randomly had the will to live, but that's not the case. I just kind of pussied out. I didn't kill myself because I didn't want to, miss out on things. I didn't choose to live because I felt like people would miss me, or, I didn't choose to live because I felt like I had an impact on someone's life. I chose to live because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't manage to end it all right then and there. And I remember when, my mom found out, she was just disappointed. She thought I was doing it for attention, which made it harder. My partner at the time was upset at me, and that kind of gave me some hope that, someone cared about me. But I don't know. I know that nobody wants to die. Like, I don't want to die. I just want the suffering to end. I don't want to be depressed all of the time. I don't want to feel like I can't enjoy anything. One of my favorite things in the world is video games, because it really is an escape from reality. You can literally almost do anything in a video game. And I've kind of started to not enjoy them anymore. I rarely actually enjoy a video game and what I'm doing in said video game. I don't enjoy going outside as much. I love being outside and going for a walk, or, sitting outside with a drink, listening to music, just looking at the sky. That's one of my favorite activities, and I've not been able to enjoy that for a while. Um, Hanging out with friends, I've not been able to enjoy that. I just, I always feel down, so I don't want to hang out with friends because I feel like I'm bringing them down with me. And nobody wants to hang out with someone that's constantly depressed. Because, I know how that feels. It just brings your mood down as well. But, I have times where I do enjoy those things still, but it's very rare. Um, I wish I had talked to more people about this. You know, friends, family, stuff like that. But truthfully, I kind of just keep it to myself because I don't want to be a burden. And that kind of makes me feel like I shouldn't talk about these things. I shouldn't tell anybody my problems and make it theirs. But I know that if I don't speak about these things, there's a chance they may never, talk to me again. I like to think that I wouldn't kill myself given the chance, but right now that kind of feels difficult to admit. I'm 20 years old, so I have a lot of life to live and still enjoy and experience things. But recently my life completely crashed, came to a halt. And I feel like no matter what I do, I just can't seem to get back on track, I've slowly made improvements in my life, and each step I take, I feel like I take 2 steps back for some reason. And it's depression, that fun feeling of dread and sorrow. I don't want to die today or tomorrow or anything like that. I just want to be happier. I don't want to be depressed all the time. I want to enjoy the things that I once enjoyed. One of my motivations to not killing myself is my sister who passed when I was young. She had a lot of life to her. A lot of love, laughter. She was an amazing sibling. And she had a lot of dreams, a lot of big dreams that she easily could have made happen. She had a lot of life to live. But she didn't choose to get diagnosed with cancer. She didn't choose to kill herself. So I feel like if I was to kill myself, it would be kind of selfish. I feel like it would be selfish of me to end my life when someone like her didn't get even to, live it. It was cut short. And that's not fair. if I was to end it all, you know, make a permanent solution to a temporary problem happen, I would want everybody in my life to know that I've loved them. There are people who've recently kind of stepped out of my life because of things I did, and I want those people to know that I love them and that I'm sorry. And there are people in my life right now who I feel like, you know, I owe a lot to. Friends and family. I can safely say that if it wasn't for my family and some of the friends I have today, I probably wouldn't be alive. And this isn't like, you know, a cry for help or, you know, I'm not looking for, what's the word? I'm not looking for attention, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just kind of just talking. Suicide is something that plays in my mind a lot, and I go back and forth on. One minute I don't want to do it at all, and the next, the thought of it pops up. It's something that will probably plague my life for a very long time. And I mean, I'm going to therapy for it as well, you know, and I do have outlets to talk to if I get close to doing it. Truth is, I don't know if I really would use those outlets. And I guess it's a bit scary. I don't know if I'll, you know, talk to the people that are willing to be there for me if I was to, you know, end it all. I guess a part of me, you know, I don't want to talk to those people because I don't want to feel like I have to rely on them to keep me alive. I want to keep myself alive. That's a lot easier said than done, though. This video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to end it off with a message. I'm not going to, you know, end my life. Not anytime soon. But I do find it hard to live sometimes, or want to live. And I'm sure there are other people out there who feel the same way. And I would be pretty upset if I found out that a friend or family member or even someone that I don't know killed themselves. And I know there are people out there who would feel that way if I ended my life. So I'm not going to. I know that I have multiple, you know, solutions to my problems, and ending it all is not the best solution I have. I'm going to get better, you know, be happier, and tackle this in a different approach. And I hope someone out there would do the same. You know, you really shouldn't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. You know, believe it or not, you're not always going to be depressed. And you're not always going to have a hard life. It can turn up. I hope mine does soon. And I feel like it might. But it won't if I, kick the bucket. Or if I just sit here and be depressed all the time. So, love yourself. I love myself. I try to every day. Love yourself. Because if you don't, then who will? I love you all. And thank you for listening, I guess. I'm sorry if the video was everywhere. Like I said, I didn't want to write anything down. I just wanted to speak from my mind, and this is just me, genuinely. So, I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.